Like, for example, the Rosetta Stone. We were breaking our heads. You have no idea. There's a couple of documentaries and many, many movies. We're breaking our heads trying to figure out how to read the hieroglyphics. Okay? And there was no way to break it. We had some ideas and consonants that repeat themselves, so they were trying to figure this out, but we weren't making any progress. And then we find the Rosetta Stone. There's a joke between the Frenchman and the English, because the English apparently, I'm not trying to, this is a joke, and this is how I took it from what I read, so I could be wrong, but the English are very practical and pragmatical, but and the French are a little bit more into the philosophy and history of things, maybe slightly more than the English, and so somebody was saying, thank God that a Frenchman found the Rosetta Stone, because if an Englishman had found it, they would have used it, to build a building somewhere, and never mind the scratches on it. Maybe they're just throwing rocks at each other, just like some of the Hispanic countries do in fun.
They don't
right?
get along too well, I don't think, the French and
Potentially,
the...
yeah. Well, they're right next to each other, so to speak. So, but what happened was that the Rosetta Stone, there was this guy named Champollion, and there was another very famous Englishman, and they were both head to head trying to figure it out. And when the Rosetta Stone was found, okay, it was in 3 forgotten languages, but one of them we knew how to read it. And the hieroglyphics were on the other side. So they were able at that point to translate that forgotten language that we still knew how to read it, to translate the hieroglyphics. And this was just, I don't know exactly when this happened, but I'm going to take a shot in the 1800s or something like that. Okay? So it's not that long ago. That's what I'm saying. It's not that long ago.
Yeah.
And otherwise, we'd be oblivious to what some of these things are saying.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Is that the one that they put out open source? Is that one?
No. No, I think that it's in the London Museum.
The Rosetta Stone?
Yeah, the National Museum. I think is the first thing that you see when you enter the National London Museum. It's there. It's not that big. It's, maybe the size of this table. Something like that.
And that is basically...
oh my God, that opened the door for everything. For understanding all of this stuff. Just that rock, because it was in 3 different languages. It's crazy.
Who put that together?
It was a dig that they were doing, and they found this rock, and it was remnants of it. Maybe what some people say is it might have been like a stela. A stela, in the old days, you would do a stela, which was a big, big rock. Mm-hmm. It was like putting a newspaper in the corner, announcing your deeds or whatever. So this was something like this, and I believe. But that's not that long ago.
No.
It's just like the cuneiform writing, they found in Iraq, in the library of Ashurbanipal. I mean, I'm murdering the name, but there were I want to say 20,000 tablets in one and 30,000 in the other.
Wow.
And there's very, very few people in the world that can read that kind of language. And these people, what they did was they got a clay tablet, and they wrote that it's like indentured in the type of writing. I forget what the name is. It's called cuneiform, and then they put it in the ovens and they blazed it, and it stayed for eternity. Well, they found that stuff because the climate is arid and stuff like that, so it was perfect for preservation. And they found 20,000 tablets in one and 30,000 in the other. And it's telling you the everyday life of those people way back then. They had the same problems we have.
Yeah.
Children that don't want to study, children that don't want to work, they don't want to go to school, what do I do? Stuff like that. But then they have other very important matters in there, And so to me, it's fascinating. I do it for fun.
Yeah.
You know, I've wasted a lot of time of my life reading that stuff.
No, I don't think it's wasted. I think, yeah, I don't think it's, and I think we
Well,
can learn from it too.
oh
You
yeah,
know, because there's a lot of stories and fables or mythology that comes with it, and I think that a lot of them have good messages.
I think so too.